hear you, Mr. Lewis. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Mr. Lewis, can you hear us?
Okay, I'm just trying to let the video load up. It's just giving me the circle of death. I apologize for my tardiness.
Mr. Lewis, it's okay. I don't need your video right now. Usually we need it to verify that we're talking to the right person, but Miss Esdale has confirmed that she recognizes your voice and we know it's you.
Oh my God.
So you're okay. We're going to proceed without video, okay?
Thank you.
All right, 25-01909, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just being interrupted. Keep saying an unstable network. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right, Ms. Esdale, today's date and time set for a review. How's Mr. Lewis doing, and has he completed all terms?
Yes, Judge. So he was placed on 6 months of non-reporting probation. He has completed all terms of his time. The handgun prevention class was completed in June of this year. He paid his balance as of July 17th of this year. No offenses, so all terms have been completed.
So, Mr. Lewis, well done. You've completed all terms. I'm not going to keep you on probation any longer. This file is going to be closed. You know, way to step up and take care of all your responsibilities.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, well done. So the record will reflect that you are in full compliance. You are discharged from probation with improvement, and this file is closed. Go have a great life, sir. You're all set. Take care.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
One second. All right, David Pablo Guerrero Hidalgo, 2600-413.
Yes, good morning, Alexander, at the Operation Department.
Stephen Lynch on behalf of the defendant. Restriction for the record.
David Guerrero Hidalgo. Today's time set for a show cause. The allegations appear to be that he has failed to test July 4th, July 10th, July 15th, July 18th, July 20th, July 21st, and August 10th. That he was out of the area and didn't make the necessary accommodations to make sure that he could test. So,
Correct.
these are the allegations?
Yes, that's correct.
Judge, as it relates to being out of the area, I understand what's going to that. Missed tests. He will admit that he missed tests due to financial reasons. You'll note there, though, he did test August 11th. So like you mentioned the last date that he missed, he did do a test after that was negative. But he will admit that he missed tests with an explanation.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, please put your hand up. All right, sir, you have the absolute right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing, it would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt. There's no hearing, we go directly to sentencing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Anybody promise you or threaten you in any way? It's your own choice to do this? Is it true that you missed testing on numerous occasions in July? Satisfied?
Yes.
By two, satisfied that please knowing voluntary and accurate, I'll accept the same. Obviously, we need to make sure that he is clean and sober. We have no way of knowing anything that really happened in July.
Correct. And I did just look this morning, he missed 2 more tests, August 22nd, August 24th.
You missed the 22nd and the 24th?
Correct, and then his results from the 26th are pending.
So much.
So Judge, he indicated to me that, well, some of those I know he said he made up some in July. We have those, where he made up tests.
No, he had that big gap. I think the one he went July 22nd, that was the only one he made up.
In talking to my client about it, Judge, he indicated that there were some issues related to financial, and when he explained it to me, works on a commission-only income. And the way that works is he puts together, if he closes a deal, obviously the commission check may come in, but a lot of the deals that he closes are, they are finance, the word, finance. So until the financing and all that is complete, he never gets paid. So when he does get a check, he kind of sets everything there to deal with rent, car, his own gas, all the normal bills that everybody has.
Right.
So he is hesitant to go spending extra money for fear that he won't have it if the commission checks don't come through. Now, he admitted to me, he knows that the alcohol testing is only $10, and we talked about that. We talked about the fact that, as I read it, it seems to allow the commission to travel. I understand, my guess is that means we're gonna be going, we have to set up this to go test.
That's it, like he didn't leave the state, so that's not the problem. It's just when, if you're gonna go to Gladwin, you better have a place to test.
Well, and I talked about that, like Grand Rapids was Friday night, and he was home Sunday night. So in that case, you need to clear with your probation agent that if you don't test up there, you can test Monday morning, because you need TG to cover those hours.
I think that's what we're looking at right
Well,
now.
and just for the one for Gladwin, him and I had spoke, he requested to travel 4th of July weekend and decided not to go, and I told him we had to take it sober. So he knew what he had to do to travel.
Just the problem, the concern that I have is obviously the testing, but more the attitude and approach. Like, it's not a go do what you want and ask for forgiveness later. You gotta follow these terms and you gotta be proactive and you do these things in advance. Like, we work with people with financial issues all the time. If there's a day where you just don't have the money to test, she should know about it before she hears about it from the testing agents. You should have called her already and said, I know I'm supposed to test today, here's the lowdown, here's what's going on. So at least we know you care. Like, the performance in July suggests that you really don't care. And I can't believe that that's what you really feel. That's just where the sort of message that's coming out.
Judge, I did talk to him about that, that this is communication to get ahead of things. It's always worse if they come around from the backside and figure out that you didn't do things. So if you can't test today, call your probation agent. If you're gonna miss a test on a day, call and let her know, and that you're gonna go make it up the next day. So try to stay ahead of things, and then hopefully he understands that now. He's just been on probation for a couple months, obviously, so maybe it's just a matter of learning to understand the process.
All right, sir, is there anything you want to say before this court closes sentence?
When it comes down to the communication, before I left, I reached out to Emily to see what she needed me to do before I left. I didn't get a response until I was back down that day morning. But she had asked me to go test
So when did you try to reach out to her about leaving?
the night before I left.
Why would you wait that long?
I wasn't aware that we were still going up. We only went for that Friday and that Saturday, so I was back by Sunday evening.
But you can see how you can't expect an immediate response when you ask a day in advance. And guess what? When you're on probation, spontaneous decisions aren't always going to work out all that well. Because it sounds to me like she had everything worked out for the 4th of July. She didn't stop you from going, right? No, you made the decision. So obviously, and the turnaround time on that, I'm sure was pretty good. So I think he's gonna have to adjust to life while on probation, because it is different. It doesn't mean that you can't go places, do things, but you have to have a plan. So it's almost as if he hasn't done anything, really, because he hasn't done, we don't have the mental health treatment, we don't have the community service, we don't really have anything so far. And so, he certainly has earned 5 days in jail, but I think what I'll do instead is just extend his delay for 3 months and basically treat the first 3 months that we've been on together as nothing having been accomplished. He owes 12 months of compliance in order to both complete his probation, because he's on a 771. He owes 12 months of compliance. So if he started today and we went to the normal ending date, that's only 9 months of compliance. That's not acceptable. So I'm going to extend his delay by 3 months and allow him to start over, start fresh. And I'm going to increase his testing, not to 6 times, because I do think there's a financial challenge, but to 5 times a month. And if you have a day where you don't have the money, then you reach out to her and then she can give you some alternatives. Well, maybe get this tomorrow, or maybe you can cover it with a meeting or something that you can do that is lower cost, that shows that you're not drinking. Because right now, for me, if someone said from the community, like, do you know, or do you have a high level of confidence that Mr. Guerrero Hidalgo didn't use in the month of July, I'd say I have no clue. That's not a position that I want to be in. But I'm not ready to write you off or put you in jail today. I think that in knowing Emily and her diligence, that the two of you together can figure this out. And so I'll just extend the delay for 3 months, increase the testing to 5 times a month, and add 5 hours of community service. And see him back here in 90 days. Mr. Lynch, any issues with that?
No.
All right. So everything that we want, Mr. Guerrero, everything we want, we still can have. A dismissal, a shorter probation, we still have all of this. This is not the start we wanted, but it doesn't mean we can't start off fresh right now. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All eyes ready right now.
That's fine. Mr. Aiken was in the waiting room and now he's gone.
Call me, didn't answer. Right, send an email.
Christina Maggio. It's number 2501057.
Emily Tessino on behalf of probation.
Morning, Your Honor. Mark Bellata on behalf of the defendant, Manjo, is present in court.
Good morning. I'm Christina Manjo.
Today's 8 times set for violation. What are the allegations?
That she failed to submit to random testing as directed. She failed to appear for testing on June 9th, June 27th, and July 16th. And that she failed to refrain from use of controlled substances. She tested positive for benzos on August 8th, and she declined to send it to the lab. And then she failed to appear for a probation appointment on August 17th.
Your Honor, I have discussed all matters except for the missed probation meeting on the 17th, and the defendant is there to be responsibility to the missed test on June 9th, June 27th, and July 16th, and as well as the use of these.
Just acknowledging those.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
All right, please put your hand down. Okay, you have the absolute right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing, it would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, but by a preponderance of the evidence that you violated your probation, and you then would have to proceed to sentencing. Pleading guilty, there's no hearing, you go directly to sentencing. Do you understand this? All right, anybody promise you or threaten you in any way in order to get you to plead to the violation of probation?
No,
It's your own choice to do this.
yes,
Okay. Is it true that you missed testing on June 9th, June 27th, and July 16th?
yes,
All right, and you have a positive test for benzos on A8. Is that because there was a use event?
yes.
Okay. What happened?
So, I was at my apartment in Southfield and, my ex Joe Alberts was showing up on the property unannounced, dropping off belongings that I had at his residence. And, my current boyfriend was at the apartment and he was, Joel was coming up to the window and punching on the window and making threatening comments. And then, Jason came outside and then Joel tried to run him over vehicle. And, we were in the middle of moving to my new apartment that I just got in. And throughout all the madness and chaos, I got really stressed out and I couldn't self-control my nervous system. And my neighbor said, hey, you know, I see what's going on. Do you want something to help you calm down? And I said, yeah, sure. And I just like wasn't really, it was like a lack of judgment on my end, not realizing it was something that was like a prescription drug and something that would show up in testing. So that is my fault and I am responsible for that. In the meantime, I realized that I do suffer from like depression and anxiety to where I made an appointment with a psychiatrist. I just got my Medicaid reactivated. That was quite a process. But I had to wait for September 1st for it to become, because I had to select a health plan with, because like I had straight Medicaid, they explained, so I had to pick a health plan which doesn't become active. So that's the reason why I took that at that moment. But I do have an appointment September 1st with a psychiatrist in Troy. Sit down and have an evaluation done to see what I can do to manage my anxiety and depression throughout this situation.
So I understand this, so you have this interaction going on between Mr. Olpertz and Jason, is it?
Yes,
And then some random neighbor comes up and gives you prescription medication?
which was not right on her part, so, yeah, well, I'm no longer living there, but I mean, that was not something she should have offered.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm saying it's hard to explain, but I knew there was something that might help me in that moment, but afterward, I realized like I shouldn't have done that. It was not something I should have taken.
Okay, so
Thank you.
So my number one concern right now is whether there's been a breach in your sobriety, right? Because she did the weed program. There are a number of things to be encouraged about, but the biggest fear I have is that there's a breach in your sobriety. Or you operated, missing those tests in June and into July, those are very concerning when you then have a positive test on August 8th. And it makes me wonder, why did she miss all of those other tests? So here's why I'm at this, Maggio. I know that there's always a high level of fear when you come in for a violation, particularly if there's a recommendation of even a short stint in jail. There's always those types of fears, but we don't get anywhere if we don't have a full picture of what's going on. If you had a relapse, if you had a setback in June and July and August, if you went in the negative direction, do you think I'm going to bail on this right now after you did so well in the weed program? Do you think I'm going to run and hide for the hills and just give you 93 days and call it a day and kick you off probation if you're honest with me about having a setback with use? No, I want to make sure you have the right resources and we're going to get back to business. But I mean, this tale that's being spun, it seems as an effort to sort of minimize the fact that you had a positive screen. So counsel, that's where I'm at. Like if I feel like I have an idea what's going on, I'm much more likely to look at outpatient counseling, some additional sobriety efforts. But if I just have a random person showing up, handing her prescription drugs, and it's a very stressful event, and you got to understand, and this.
Your Honor, I understand. I did discuss this matter with Christina, and she indicated that the missed tests, that on June 9th, she had a dental appointment, dental emergency, so she put on the other two occasions, on June 27th and July 16th, she was called into work. She's indicated she's still working with divorce, which is employed after all. And I'm aware of the ETG testing where it's there was an overlap with mistesting come up.
Did she cover any of these tests though?
No, I mean, I think that's why I'm more concerned than anything, is we've had pretty good rapport and communication up until this point. And she has since contacted me and explained what was going on as far as the issues with the victim, and updated her address and phone number. But like, the explanation is the first I'm hearing it today, so.
See, and council, that's the big issue that I'm running into is because I've been very,
To be candid with
I've been very pleased with
she's very fearful for me today, and I have in the past represented the brother who has overcome this alcohol. It's addiction, and I have spoken with her. She understands this. It did strike me. It kind of hit me in the face when she was trying to blame shift to the neighbors who came up. She doesn't want to say who it is because she doesn't want to get them in trouble. She knew it was benzodiazepine. She knew it was a Xanax. She sort of calmed herself down. I asked if there was a police report filed about this individual who was trying to.
right, why isn't she calling the police and?
And
There's
she
2 police
indicated
reports.
that there is police involved in that. I'm aware of any charges were brought. She just was going through, she had a few missed tests and then she went through this issue and decided to take something she shouldn't. She knows that.
Yeah, Ms. Maggio, so if there are police reports, well, one, that means you've had police contact, your probation officer needs to know
And
about it.
she sent me an email explaining this on August 20th.
All they
So I don't know what dates, and again, I didn't know the explanation for that.
But Ms. Maggio, I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Before we start spiraling in a negative direction, I think there's this misunderstanding that I'm going to forget about February 11th, where we had a really good review, May 13th, when we had a really good review, you completed the READ program. I don't forget about all that stuff, all right? Use that to balance out whatever frustrations I have. But, I mean, we cannot help you if we don't know the full extent of the problem, all right? If we don't know everything that's going on, all right? And so, I mean, here's my 2 choices. I've got a number of missed tests combined with a positive benzos test. And the only explanation that I really have is, the dental issue and then work dates. But I also have some challenges with communication that we haven't seen before. And a really unusual story for how that benzo got into your system. So as you can see, I'm not doing my job if I don't ask a couple extra questions to make sure I have a full understanding of the picture. And if you're concerned about, well, what if the judge finds out if that's not exactly how it went down, does this mean that I'm going to be thrown in jail? Well, if I did that, then I would forget all of the good work you did. I would throw it all out. And that to me is not.
Right, because never once have I drank alcohol during this whole probation. I do not have desire to drink. There really is like not a substance problem. There's more of like a harassment problem. I'm being harassed by my ex during my probation, and I want the court to understand this situation is happening to me personally.
But do you?
Right.
Like anxiety. Remember, if.
Can we pass it for just a second? I just want you to talk for a little bit more.
Yes.
Because I think you know me well enough to know what I'm trying to accomplish here. And frankly, I do want to have a greater understanding if there is some back and forth with Mr. Olferts that is putting your probation in jeopardy, okay?
Yes.
All right, but Mr. Olferts isn't the one who put benzos in your system. So let's make sure that we identify, like the court will work with Ms. Tessino and make sure that we respond appropriately if there is issues from Mr. Olferts. But what I need from you is a full understanding of what was going on June, July, August, okay? Different stressors, different things. It sounds to me like this whole issue with Mr. Olferts was a stressor. We need to get a copy of those police reports, all right? So that we can validate what you're telling us, okay? So these are all things that we need to have in place. But I can see that the emotions are starting to pick up. So counsel, perhaps we might want to adjourn sentencing, but in the meantime, if you just talk to her for a minute and then come back in here and then we can come up with a plan whether we adjourn the sentencing and then give you time, council, to dig into this, provide us more information.
Yes, John.
But my main concern right now is we've made, I think, a lot of progress. The enemy of that kind of progress would be getting involved with substances, okay? Not dealing with in the healthiest way possible any issues with Mr. Olfers. These are all potential landmines that we've got to manage. Getting a copy of the police report will help us understand more about Mr. Olfers, but I still don't feel really good about the explanation or understanding of how that got into your system. So just talk to your attorney for a minute and trust the fact that I'm not looking to send you to jail for 93 days, okay?
Right, thank you.
All right, good luck. See you in a minute.
Thank you.
Mr. Meinecke?
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Walker. Four zero zero 769.
Good morning, Rusty, I'm from the Probation Department. John, I kind of got to bring, we have Neil Walker, Judge.
Mr. Walker, state your name, please. All right. So we have, we're up against it. And we have a couple pieces that need to be taken care of.
And they all have been taken care of this morning.
Yes.
Mr. Anger just handed them to me, but he also sent them to me this morning. He completed 60 hours of community service. He also attended the victim impact panel. I guess the only issue would be the fines and costs, but the two other terms have been taken care of.
I can give a payment like that. I mean, just under the wire, Mr. Walker. I would have liked to have it in a little sooner than this. But I don't, in the end, there are obligations that you have to follow through. And you need to do them in the time frame allotted. And whether you got them done 6 months ago or got them 5 minutes ago, the key is you got them done. And so that way you can walk out of here with your head held high, knowing that the job was finished. Now, there are fines and costs, but I'm not, Mr. Anger, I'm not in the business of keeping them on probation longer just for fines and costs. We can give them a long-term payment plan and can chip away at it over time. Fair? Okay. So where did you do the community service?
He did it at a senior living center. I would need to just confirm, he did put a phone number on there, but he did submit the 60 hours. One of our own adult and senior care services.
Okay, and then he did the victim impact panel.
Yep, he completed the victim impact panel on August 24th.
So my intention today, Mr. Anger, and I trust there won't be an objection, this is to dismiss the violation and then discharge contingent on the community service checking out.
Perfect, Judge. The only thing I'd add is Neil indicated he did 62 hours. If that's in fact true, I'd ask for to consider those 2 extra hours.
I definitely, if we could verify that, I'll give him more, I'll give him some money off of this fine.
Yes, sir, that was with, his part. I graduated, I was go there, and big brother, there's a bright program.
Okay. Okay, the violation is dismissed. He is discharged from probation with improvement. Mr. Walker's achieved, I think, incredible things over the last couple of years. Put himself in a very difficult position, a position where a lot of people don't come back from. And here he stands, being able to know that he completed basically 2 probations, a very significant intensive probation on his part. Completed this probation. Really says something, Mr. Walker, and I hope that you continue to protect yourself going forward, okay? All right, discharge from probation with improvement, balance to the show cause docket. All this is contingent on community service verification, but Mr. Walker, I believe that is going to be easy for him to figure out. All right, congratulations, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Ms. Ray?
right. Area 26000252.
Morning, I'm Shirley, keep your name up.
Good morning again, Your Honor, John Meinecke, had a raise.
All right, state your name. All right. You have a violation?
You do.
Go ahead.
Judge, I tested positive for marijuana at 239 nanograms on July 30th. She also admitted to consuming 2 sips of a small 99 liquid bottle of butterscotch liquor that she had found in her mom's closet on either August 21st or 22nd. She couldn't call the exact date. And she's also failed to appear for random screens on August 10th, August 19th, August 20th, and August 24th.
Mr. Agat.
Judge, the court is aware there was a significant car accident. We hospitalized her on August 9th, the 11th, and she was in the hospital again. On August 13th, her injuries are pretty severe. I think that prevented her from being compliant as to the test. As to the other 2 issues, the positive THC and the positive alcohol, she will tender plea guilty to those.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, you have the right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing, it would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, by a preponderance of the evidence that you violated your probation, and you then would have received sentencing by pleading guilty. There's no hearing to go directly to sentencing. Do you understand that? Anybody promise you or threaten you in any way? It's your own choice to do this. Is it true that you have tested positive for marijuana? And is it true that you consumed alcohol? Right, satisfied?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, satisfied the plea is going voluntary and accurate, I will accept the same. I mean, is it time? Is it time to move her over to sobriety court?
I think that would be in her best interest. I really do.
These are pretty intensive programs. Obviously, there are certainly financial concerns and all that to go into this, but she needs more than what we're giving her right now. And I fear for what's to come if we are on top of her constantly. Please. Ms. Rhea, is there anything you want to say before this court imposes sentence?
Just been having a hard time. I want to stay sober. Especially alcohol.
I don't want you to be using it. We have to, right? We need to come up with and I'm sure, I mean, you've been living in the reality long before you and I came into contact with one another. Trying to figure out the right medication schedule, and that gets to be very frustrating. I know that you've had different inpatient experiences, which I'm sure has been very, very difficult. But I do have to consider every option that's on the table. All right, so I want you to understand that if I don't get full cooperation from you, your best effort, and your maximum level of communication, which I would say we're getting some good level of communication, remember? That's good. But if I don't have those things, then what's left at my disposal is either jail, right, which I think would be certainly very traumatic for you, all right? Or an inpatient facility, which I think would be different than any of the inpatient facilities you've been to before. So those are my choices if we can't figure this out. So this is, what we're doing right now is, I do think the accident certainly put us in a tough spot as well. But the accident isn't the reason why she was positive for marijuana. And the accident ultimately isn't the reason why she went looking for and found alcohol, but she was honest about it, so that helps. So, Ms. Rhea, we've got to get out of the sort of excuse-making business because your addiction is happy to use all of that. Your addiction is happy to use, well, I've got this, and I've got this going on. So therefore, I have to dig back into my addiction all over again. Are you going to meetings? How many are you going to?
I'm trying to go daily.
You're supposed to be going daily. In person. Why isn't it daily?
Some days I just struggle on, honestly.
When you say struggle going, is it physically struggling or?
My body hurting. I'll go and like eat my favorite thing. I can always sit with my
Your injury, I didn't know was an issue related to sitting.
It's just a lot of pain, in general, like even standing here.
So when is this procedure going to be scheduled? I was under the understanding it was going to be tomorrow and then it's been moved.
Yes, it's been moved to something this week,
When was it moved?
just we had called to try and get proof that it was gonna happen tomorrow. And then the lady who is supposed to schedule it for the hospital told us that it's probably gonna be next week because of AAA. and stuff going on with that. Like at first AAA was saying that they don't have a claim open for my car accident, but I've been using the claim number, I've been going to many different doctors, neurology, I've had a bunch.
So you were set to have a surgery tomorrow and no one notified you that it had been moved. Only by you calling.
The hospital hasn't called me for a time yet. And that's what they said they were gonna do today, they were gonna call me for the time. But then when we had called them before I came up here, the lady said it was more than like 3 weeks.
We need more specifics when we talk about medical treatment. You need to know.
You should have seen the struggle I was having in the hospital.
So you're staying with your mom? Okay. Do I need to be afraid that there's alcohol in that home?
No, sir.
I didn't say that. We found alcohol in the home.
Because I told them where I found it.
aerosol.
They don't drink, no one drinks in the house. No. This house, my problem.
Not here.
Yeah.
So she found alcohol in the house.
My fault, I guess I should have gone through further, but because we don't drink and didn't think there was anything.
It was left over from a party from 2 years ago. That's all. Because neither one of us drink hardly. I mean, I've had a beer in the last, I've probably had 6 beers in the last year. I don't know if she's had anything.
I need you to scour the home, okay? To make sure, because she found it.
Yeah.
So there are forces working against us, working against her. Her addiction is not going to respond the right way if she comes across something. If she comes across something, her addiction, she's not in a position yet where she has the tools to fight that off. So, I want to make sure that this is crystal clear. Ma'am, it's absolutely not your fault. All right, I'm asking you to look going forward, but I don't want you to beat yourself up about it or worry like I screwed up or I put my dog. No, that's not how this works, okay? All I'm asking you to do is from this point going forward, go through every nook and cranny like you were someone who was an addict looking for it. That's how deeply I want you both to make sure that there's nothing out there that could, I mean, we're on the edge of a knife here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This could go one of two ways, and the other one is, hopeful and moving forward, and the other one is really bad. So I take the fact that you're here today, that you're interested in being a support and part of this, all right? And so I just ask, since I can't do the searching, please do that for me. I can't order you to, I'm just asking you to. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely.
Okay, so until we have a surgery, the daily meetings are non-negotiable. All right? You're gonna have to gut it out, all right, and go to these meetings to make sure you continue to build up resources. And then you're gonna have to call people that you meet at these meetings if you're ever having temptations or triggers or things like that. I don't want you just to be a spectator. I want you to build a community. All right, and then I'm gonna see you. I don't know where she's at right now, if she's serious enough to really want to address this in a sobriety court program. We all believe that she needs it, and I think that she does. Mr. Agat, you believe she'd be a good candidate?
I do, Judge. I think it's really the best fit for it because of the community nature of it. Judge, the only issue I suppose would be it's a 2-year program and she's been on probation for 2 months now, so if you want to get what idea her regarding that.
Well, the reality is that if you want to be a part of that program, then your discharge date would not be June 9th. It would be August 9th of 2028. So it's a 2-year program. It starts today. So, and these are my options: jail, inpatient treatment, or sobriety court. I'm willing to go along with sobriety court. You watched it. You were here. Is that a program you could think that you could succeed in?
I was interested. I just only made it to the one meeting.
Well, because of your accident. So, okay. So are you willing to comply with sobriety court if I put you there?
Yes.
Are you interested in all those people that you saw there and what they're going through and the support that they were getting? Do you believe that you could benefit from that like they are?
Yes.
Okay. September 1st then. All right, she's to engage in daily meetings. And if she's not going to a daily meeting, I better have a good verifiable medical reason why not. We'll continue all of her testing. She'll be placed in sobriety court with all the terms. She's to complete all 4 phases. And she'll complete all 2 years of that program. She'll be in weekly meetings with me until we get a solid foundation underneath her. I mean, I don't know, Ms. Rhea, how much more this court can do to demonstrate our willingness to do what it takes to help. But your mom can only do so much. Court can only do so much. You've got to decide to commit fully to this idea that the life that you've been living, because you're only 20, right?
Right.
Today's your birthday. And this probably is one of the best gifts you've ever been given. Because I didn't put you in jail. I didn't put you in inpatient. I came up with a different plan. But you need to show me that you're actually interested in what we're offering. I tell you, Miss Linke has had your back more than you'll ever know. And I hope that you do honor to that by actually trying to fight for yourself.
I feel like she's a personal therapist.
Well, we do, and she's done a great job with that, but we need to get her the right, professional care that she deserves. Okay, I'll see you on the 1st. All right, Mr. Ingot, anything else?
No, Judge, thank you. And she'll be welcome in that program. I think that there are good people there who will give her guidance if she needs.
I agree. All right, and then you, Miss Linke, can we really work on locking down a surgery date?
Yes.
And I need to know when that is.
Yes.
All right? See you in a week.
Judge, regarding the meetings, do you want all?
All in person.
Okay.
I mean, she's gone long enough without a full community. This is the best way I can give her one.
I've been going every day almost, just like.
Do you have a sponsor?
I have a recovery coach.
Through who?
Actually, the Royal Police Department, I had an incident at a different site facility, and they called.
How long ago was this?
2 months ago.
Okay, so when's the last time you talked to your recovery coach?
Actually, just last week,
Okay,
but I would like a sponsor too.
yeah,
Because she said that, a sponsor wants, focuses on the 12 steps, the recovery coach, and helps with everything else.
with your resources and things like that, but you need a sponsor. So the next time we talk on the 1st, you should have one, at least a temporary sponsor. All right, good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank your honor.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
Colin Monjo, counsel, you ready on that?
Thank you. I apologize. I did make contact with Southwood Police and checked with the was assigned to that case. I have a report number and indicated if I sought probation, assigned information.
Actually, if you get us the report number, we could probably get a hold of it right now.
Oh, thank you.
Can you look into that?
Yeah, I can remember. Do you want me to do?
I forgot to double check.
We'll have it really good, but I-
Is that
Mine's
same
already
number?
shit, so.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I don't want to. Monica.
Sometimes I transfer those
Yeah,
numbers.
26,703.
Thank you.
Just have to look at it.
Yes.
So let's get Emily a chance to get it, and
Okay.
then if you run into a wall, Monica usually busts through those.
She was starting to short circuit. She's trying to get her appointment confirmations for the mental health screening, and that's what she's doing right now.
Very good, just
Thank you for giving me this.
just dial her back a little bit, because I think her anxiety is kicking in. She thinks she's going to jail, when all I need is the truth, and I can work with that. That's all we need,
Thank you. And I do apologize. Her brother contacted me yesterday, so one day involvement in this,
But even
trying to get it done.
One day of your involvement has already taken us a long way, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hearing that.
Judge Nakia Jackson.
after Ms. Jackson, I do want to call it a Shaw. Okay. All right. 501525.
Good morning, President Grand Rapids Probation Department.
Johnny, yeah, like you, Jason.
What's the name? All right, today's date time set for violation hearing. Mr. Young?
The violation was set due to some positive tests on the Solvik device, one on July 3rd, and then one on August 1st. There are also some late tests. And then for outpatient counseling, it's been kind of a struggle getting proof from her counselor, but she did just, she printed off and brought in proof and confirmation that she has been seeing them up until August 7th, I believe was the date. But this goes all the way back until April. So it does look like she's seeing her 1 to 2 times a month, I believe, if not more. So as for the positive tests, obviously the August 1st one was a little bit more concerning to me. I did include in your file her explanation on what happened that day, as well as proof of where she was at that time. And then as for the late tests, in the report, I explained that a lot of them were her latest test that she takes. Once she asked to move that time up, things got, I would say at least a little bit better. And then, like, all right, so yeah, that's where we stand today.
So here's the issues that we run into. Obviously, the one on the first, at first blush looks like a drinking event.
Right.
Clear as day. Now, there's some issues related to hand sanitizer. I would love for there to have been an ETG after that, but there wasn't, correct?
No, so I didn't see, unfortunately, I didn't see either of these events until I checked her testing for her. It was already too late by the time I.
Do you have proof of the event, though?
Yeah, I put it in there for her, so she has color copies of the easier. Or
If you'd like that.
Oh, I see it, sir. So she's. I just don't have a date on this.
Well, Judge, thank
It
you.
should be at the very bottom of the Instagram post.
So you were stepping away from the event to test.
Yeah, and that's when it was in my bag, because I couldn't fit the whole device piece in my purse. So I just then looked out the state for keep the straw in there, and put it in the rest of my things. And then when it was time for me to test, that's when we
She actually tasted the sanitizer, and she put the straw in her. So it really sounds like it was dissipating with each retest almost, like it was. But,
She's good. You need to know going forward if there's an episode like that. Especially if you're asking to retest, that should be a sign to you that, hey, there's something going on here. I gotta call probation right away and or go get an ETG right away, all right? So that's what we need to do going forward. Now, the July 3rd incident, obviously that's a higher VAC. I saw the notes that missed all retests, but she did test 9:37, so within 45 minutes, right? So it would be tough to go from a 0.10 to nothing in 45 minutes.
So she had missed a test, but it looked like she sent a test on her own. Something with the device. The device she's on is a little bit different than the normal Solix that we use. She's on the screen, so it's a little bit different. It doesn't send as many retests as the normal one would. But yeah, she did test 26 minutes later, and it was negative.
Mr. Young is confident enough in her that he's asking you just to adjourn the violation and give her a chance through her continued compliance to demonstrate that the explanations are accurate.
Judge, also, this is probably unusual because most people are resistant to change, but the recommendation also says switch from the SOAP link to the ETG. I spoke to Nikki about that. She actually wants to work better for this situation.
And I think the SOAP link's just getting her in more trouble than it is.
Fine. Let's move it to the ETGs then. And we have the proof of counseling that we're looking for, right?
I still have a report from the counselor, but she provided proof that she had attended all of these past appointments, so.
Let's just
Yes.
make sure we follow up with the counselor. All right, so I'll bump this out 60 days. Let's see if we can chase away any clouds of doubt relating to these positive screens just through continued compliance. Let's switch to the ETG so that we don't have an aggravating situation like this come up again. And that should, I think, get us to where we need to go, because she had otherwise started off strong, in my opinion, and I don't want to let this event unnecessarily send us in the wrong direction. So I'll bump this out 60 days, switch to the ETG, if compliant, consider dismissal of the violation.
One more thing, if I may, Judge, regarding restitution in this, I believe it's next. Nikki made a payment of $520 on March 24th. I don't know if that is reflected in the court's file as having gone to restitution. I imagine you ordered that any payment made will go first to restitution. So
Can you confirm that,
I will.
Mr. Young? All right, we'll take care of that. That's up to us. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you back here in 60 days. Let's get this right, okay?
Thank
All
you so
right,
much.
good luck. All right, Jay Schrod.
I'm here.
That is 25-00225.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Ezell, during the application.
John, I got Mr. Schrott. Judge, I should know, I was not able to get a hold of Mr. Schrott, so we've not formally spoken. Did you get an email that I sent to you, Mr. Schrott?
I did get the email. I did not notice it because it got put in my junk folder. And the email, the call that you sent or the text yesterday came too late for me to make a call because I had stuff going on at the shelter. I'm at a homeless shelter right now. So I apologize that I wasn't able to get back to you.
Don't worry.
No, so this was an adjourn violation,
Yes.
and the hope was to get Mr. Schrod back on track.
Yes.
And I think you have some positive updates.
I do, Judge. So since last court date, Jay's maintained really good communication with me. He was re-enrolled in the in-person pathway domestic violence class to support. So this is a new class that I was introduced to. So court actually reached out to me and let me know about this new class. It's in person. It's equivalent to HEAL. It's still 52 weeks, but it's free for indigent clients. So Jay actually was able to enroll with this, no cost to him, and they provide bus passes to and from the groups and the case management meetings.
Really?
Yes, it's new. I hadn't heard of it. And
That's
so-
great news, Mr. Schrod. Way to take advantage of it.
I'm excited. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the best part is he didn't have to start over, so he's in Sankofa, or like the last phase, because he was already in the last phase when all the kind of stuff happened, and he was able to just kind of pick up where he left off.
That's great news. That's great news, Mr. Schrod. I hope that, obviously there's, a lot going on and a lot that could, certainly weigh you down and get you to a negative place, but to have some wins like this have to be helpful.
It is. I mean, just to get back on track, I haven't had a meeting yet. I have to give her a phone call today to find out what schedule I'm going to be on. I needed to talk to people at the shelter about when they could accommodate, which ends up being not. So I'm going to have to go to the library to do it, which is fine. But just putting wins together and getting back on track feels good to me.
Since July 8th, has he been in communication with you better than obviously what we were dealing with leading up to July 8th?
Yes, yep, so and I apologize, John, but there's another number that he provided me that he's actually able to get in contact with better. So yeah, I mean, the meetings are solid. He's doing his counseling. He's doing counseling 4 times a week essentially. He's doing individual counseling and then groups 3 times a week. So he's doing that on top of going back to his DV class. So yes, the communication is much better. I always have to hand it off to Jay because every time we meet, he's so confident, he's so positive, even in light of the situation, he's just, I commend him for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's my plan. I know that there was a recommendation to add community service, but I really want him to get engaged with, looking for employment, continuing to build himself up. And so I'd rather just adjourn the violation 90 days. We're close to being fully on track. Once we're fully on track, rather than even a community service sanction, I just would dismiss the violation. Just so that Mr. Schra can get that sort of feather in his cap as he's going through one of the most difficult times in his life. And so this is a good day. This is a better day than July 8th. I'm looking forward to having a better day 90 days down the road. Just continue to stay positive and stay in good communication with Ms. Esdale. If you do those two things, I think we're going to be able to, overcome a number of these barriers.
I agree. I absolutely will, Your Honor, and I appreciate the oversight and how well it's gone. I appreciate the court's time, and I also appreciate your positivity. I mean, it was hard for me to start biting into it when I first started meeting with you about being positive about all this, but you're right. It's just a spot in my life that's low, and I got to step up and be positive and make the best of it, and that's what I keep trying to do.
And if you look, because some people just refuse to look, if you look beyond sort of the exterior of the situation, there are wins that are happening. There are.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, I'll see you back here in 90 days. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate you.
Judge, I didn't say it, and I wanted to on the record, dismiss Esdale's work on that. Finding that program is incredible. So it's going to be something we can use in the future.
Absolutely. It was a great find. Good work.
I mean, I can't even take the credit, Judge. They actually told me about it, so, but I did tell the rest of the commission. I think that'll be a game changer for people like Jay that can't pay for it.
All right, you have another one?
Ms. Dietrich?
$26,00426.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Edzell, Crane, the Corporation.
John, I think we have Yvonne Dietrich to my credit.
Teacher, state your name.
Yvonne Dietrich.
All right, today's date and time set for a violation. What are the allegations?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant did test positive for alcohol via the sober device on July 24th at 9:05 p.m. BAC was 0.027. She did all the necessary retests. She was eventually compliant at 10:24 p.m.
I'm a little confused. In the notes, it says the positive test was on the 24th, but that you spoke to her on the 17th of July. Is that August?
I'm sorry, Judge, I think that was an error on my part. Because I called her within probably I think that must have been a typo, Judge. I'm sorry. I called her within a day or so of the positive test. And she informed me that she was at her place of employment, but it was a party for a coworker. And that she indicated there was no alcohol being served, but she did consume a food that had rum in it. It was like a rum cake. And so that's when the positives started coming on the sober device. And so, although it wasn't direct consumption of alcohol, I mean, it was food that contained alcohol, for instance.
If I can just add a little bit of detail, it was not a rum cake, it was an upside down pineapple cake, like a bunch of cake.
Okay.
So it wasn't something that said, hey, there's some rum cake, bunch of it. But she, in the middle of this, the only person at her workplace who knows about her probation and what she needs to do is one of the bosses that was there. And so she was in the bathroom doing the clothes privately, and it kept asking her retest, and she knew that created a potential problem. She went out and pulled the boss aside and asked, what could this be? Is there anything in food? The boss then went to the woman who was just a guest who had brought that upside down pineapple cake. She said, yeah, maybe it's wrong. And if you look at those, it's almost like a glaze type. At least my research online, whether you believe it or not, is that those glazes don't really cook off the rump. So certainly it could give a false positive. Because so in looking at the numbers, Judge, it seems to me that they're relatively low. So I believe this is a story that makes sense.
Well, at the very least, do you acknowledge the fact that there was positive tests?
Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you have the right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing, it would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, to provide a preponderance of the evidence that violated your probation. Only then would have received the sentencing, but pleading guilty. There's no hearing. You have the right to the sentencing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Anybody promise you it's written in any way?
No.
It's your own choice to do this? Is it true that you had a positive test and you're sober?
Yeah.
All right, satisfied?
Satisfied.
If you're satisfied with please no involuntary act, I'll accept the same. We just got started. I will say that she's otherwise been reporting.
Yes.
Taking medication as she's
Yes.
supposed to, already did the impact panel,
Yes.
and a good level of communication with you. So I'm obviously disappointed that we're in this spot, but it's not a spot in which we can't rebuild, restore, and continue to move forward, nor am I going to forget about the good work that's already been done. But you got to be the most intense label reader. I mean, unless you baked it, I wouldn't eat it, and that's a tough spot to be in, but your sobriety, you're working so hard to protect it. We got to make sure this is, and I know there's a prior back in 2014, but now there's two, which means that if we don't get this right and there's a third, they don't care about the timeframes. It's a felony, and I don't want you to ever be in that position. So, it's not, I get it. It's not fun to be, get a double check all medication bottles, all different types of food. But this is where we're at. But I also think you can do this. I think if given the opportunity, you will just add another layer of protection, ask the extra set of questions, and we'll be fine. So you've seen the recommendation. Any comments on that?
If I may, Judge, I think the testing as it stands is working. Obviously, we're here for that reason. I don't know if increased testing is necessary based upon what Ms. Dietrich has provided as to why this occurred. So I ask the court to limit any sanction to community service, and I'd ask you to consider 20 hours. I'm sorry.
All right, so anything you'd like to say before this court closes sentence?
No, I guess I need to pay more attention. So work function, I was hungry, I had eaten all day, between lines and.
Unfortunately, this is the reality that has been created by past negligences, and yeah, it is, right, but at the same point in time, it's doable, and at the very least, you'll always know what goes into your body, which isn't a bad thing. But I know that's very frustrating, especially as things have started off well. But I would just encourage you to not let this moment define how our probation is going to go, but rather make the adjustments and move forward. And so it's the order of this court. This is a fair recommendation, but I'm going to dial it back because of the good work that I've otherwise seen. So rather than the 20 hours, I agree we'll dial back to the 10. And the increased testing, I think is appropriate given the results, but rather than for 45 days, just for 30 days, and then back to 2 times. And you work out the times with Ms. Estes. And then we'll close this out and move forward. And the next time we have a good positive review, and we fully put this behind us. All right, good luck, man.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Did you want back in Cicely, Judge?
90.
90, okay.
I think that Ms. Dietrich is going to sharpen this, so I'm not. Ms. Dietrich, normally after a violation, I see somebody in 60 days, but I'm betting on you 90 days. All right. Are you ready, Alonso?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, 25-01057.
Emily, do you know the application?
Mark Kawada, on behalf of the defendant.
Samanshu, your name for the record, yes, please.
Christina Manjo.
All right. Okay, so, we've already taken the plea of the violation, so we're just gonna come up with next steps. All right, so, before I get into that, is there anything additional or anything else that we need to work through so we come up with the best plan possible?
Yes, Your Honor. Going respectfully requesting a brief adjournment for approximately 1 week. We were unable to get the intake information emailed. It's signed yet. With 1 week adjournment, probation will be able to secure a copy of the police report related to the incident that triggered the use of Xanax. And additionally, I think that the mental health screening evaluation, whatever they have for us, it does not have an appointment scheduled as of yet, but they can't give us the intake forms without their showing up first. So she's going to go with this pure psychiatry of Troy.
And I did call and left a voicemail to the detective. I was actually gonna suggest that we did a couple of weeks adjournment to give her the opportunity to actually have the intake. Because that's usually when they sign the release of information.
Okay, are you available in a couple of weeks, counsel?
And then maybe get some more testing
And I do want a more complete set of facts related to the use of Xanax, which I think Mr. Iwata will be able to glean from his client when she's in the healthiest place with her, mental health treatment and all of that. So I'm sure, Ms. Maggio, that when you came here today, all the different triggers, especially when it comes to fears and anxieties and all, probably sold you a bill of goods as to what was going to happen, all right? That maybe there's a chance that you weren't going to walk out that door today, but rather going to walk through this one. But see, I'm not doing that, all right? So I want you to at least show me that same, I'm showing you a level of respect so that you can work with Mr. Iwata, get yourself in a good place with your mental health treatment, get in a good place with making sure we're on track with our testing. All I ask is that you do, fully reflect and work with Mr. Iwata so that I just have the most complete picture. Is Maggio, are you with me?
Yes.
That I have the most complete picture of what went down, not so that I can figure out a way to punish you further, but so that I can help come up with a way so that when these different stressors come up, we have a game plan. What do we do that doesn't involve substances? What do we do that keeps you safe, but doesn't involve going down a negative path? All right, that's really why I want to know this information, because I want to know that this plan that we have is going to work. And if it has to be tweaked, so be it. Mr. Why, you see where I'm coming from this, right?
Yes, Your Honor. But unfortunately, Your Honor, on the 9th, I have a misdemeanor trial scheduled.
So let's just do it a week and see what we can get done. Because I like Mr. Iwata's approach, which is let's stay connected.
On the 2nd.
On the 2nd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So. And that will also keep us motivated to get moving on scheduling this appointment as quick as possible. All right, Ms. Montrose, do you have any questions?
None at this time.
Okay, and we're gonna get the documentation from the police department. I guess my question is, you moved to a new location, right?
Correct.
All right, does the individual in question know her new location that we know of? Do you know?
Not.
The individual that that has been, obviously brought you here, and they're talking about Mr. Olford's. He wouldn't know where you're staying now, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, good. So that should limit the opportunities for police contact like we had in Southfield, was it?
That's what she said, and then I was gonna ask her some additional questions, because she references Royal Oak right now as well. So I don't know if it.
Yeah, there was a separate incident that.
Okay, let's try to I want to figure these things out, okay? So, open book, Mr. Awad, if we can, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Manjo, I'll see you in a week.
One thing, I don't know if, I know you probably already know, it, but if the court realizes this, Mr. Alfors is the alleged actor in this investigation. He was actually the victim in this case.
We know that, so
So he did appear at her, so there was contact with his appearance, but she didn't interact.
that's why we need the police report. We need to get the facts as to how that all went down. Because obviously, you know, we have to make sure that Mr. Olferts is protected because he's the victim in this foul, but I also don't want to set up Ms. Manjo for failure by, you know, ignoring any evidence that's out there that Mr. Olferts is initiating the contact. We need to know that. You know, I'm not saying, I certainly am not coming to any conclusions whether it is or isn't happening, but we need to have these police reports to have a better understanding. What do you think?
No, I agree. Last contact I had with him, I believe it was late July. And it was just kind of an email expressing his concerns about his friend. It wasn't, you know, saying in violation of the no contact or anything like that. That's the last I heard from.
When would these events in Southfield take place?
August 5th, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so a lot of moving parts here. Ms. Manjo, you focus right now on your mental health, on your sobriety. All right, if you take care of those two things, we'll figure all the rest of this out. Okay?
Right, because I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing probation, I'm just being like harassed from the outside, and it's not conducive to my trying to success.
Okay, so, but Ms. Manjo, I want to point out to you that the court is not violating you for any negative behavior that you have in Mr. Olferts. All right? The court is only violating you right now because you missed some tests and you had a positive Xanax test. All right, so let's make sure we, you know, so I would imagine that some of your concerns would be like, oh, Mr. Olferts is putting all this stuff in action and he is the cause of all this. Well, the court is looking into all of that, okay? But what you're only here for are decisions that you made, okay? So that's why I want you to focus on you. Is it in your control to make sure you go to your tests? And if you can't call Emily, yeah, that's in your control. Is it in your control to make sure that substances don't go in your body? Yeah, that's in your control. So I'm not asking you right now to, you know, to manage Mr. Olferts or any situation like that. I'm asking you to focus on Christina Manjo, and that's it. All right, so I'll see you back here in a week.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck. Let's see, Mr. Reagan, so.
He's here on
He's here. Oh, there he is, back there. Okay, all right. You ready on that one? Mr. Reagan, is that Mr. Lynch's?
It's Mr. Lynch, I will agree.
Okay, are you ready on anything else, Mr. Reagan? I can do.
Mr. Edwards.
Let's do Mr. Edwards then, and then we can go. Do we expect Mr. Gilbert?
Miss Epley said she saw him on Zoom. I haven't had any contact with him, so I'm not sure.
Okay. 2400477, Jeremy Edwards.
More question on from probation department.
Johnny, I think, Jeremy Edwards, to my right.
All right, Mr. Edwards, state your name.
Jeremy John Henry Edwards Senior.
All right, today's date and time set for an adjourned violation. I indicated that if he was in compliance, that the court will consider a community service sanction rather than jail sanction. Where do we stand?
For the most part, he is in compliance. The only issue that we're running into is this Saturday, specifically this Saturday testing. He had told me at our last appointment that his job was interfering with that test, so, but he has been getting all of the Monday and Thursday testing. He was requesting to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday tests. He thinks he can better comply with that. But aside from that, he is attending counseling actually received a report from his counselor yesterday, stating that he has completed outpatient counseling, but he is opting to continue counseling on his own through the same agency. He continues to attend sports support group meetings per week. I did confirm that the person that he does list confirms that she regularly sees him attending these meetings.
That's good.
He has begun his 100 hours of community service. He continues to drop out marijuana use. Overall, like I said, for the most part, in compliance, we're definitely better than where we were last time. It's just the Saturday testing.
And what's interesting to me is that Mr. Edwards even looks healthier today. That he certainly passes the eye test, but Mr. got the Saturday test is an issue for me. If I don't have a weekend test, we could drink on a Friday and we wouldn't have a test until Monday. So that's the big issue that I'm running into, is figuring out how we manage that.
So what occurred, Judge, is what was noted, his work, they added Saturday, and the Saturday work hours consumed the time that he could go to the open hours for testing.
What's wrong with Sunday?
It's just very early. On the weekends, they're only open from 5 to 9. It's just like my only day off, sometimes I'll oversleep. That's not your problem at all. I can do better.
See, to me, I would think a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday then.
The only issue is me waking up Sunday. That's the whole issue. You know? That's not your problem at all. If that's what needs to be done, that's what I'll do.
I mean, come on. I've made a lot of accommodations for you, Edwards, and if, we're not really in a negotiating type of position where Monday, Wednesday, Friday is gonna be acceptable, because that means that I'll know basically that you're not having anything to drink from Sunday to Thursday. But I won't have anything for Friday, Saturday, like the most concerning days of the week. I won't have any coverage or any protection whatsoever.
100%. I can go Friday after work. I don't know if that would be better. Because I do normally test Monday. So I can add Friday if that helps at all.
No, see, Monday,
That's the
Wednesday,
same thing, yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday is no good for me. So Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and you know what? You get up, test, and go back to bed. I know it's tough to get up early in the morning, but I mean, you had a lot of road to make up with me.
Yes, sir.
And I think that at any point in time, there are a number of courts that just would have called it a day with you, giving me a year. In fact, I think another court just did give them time, right?
Yes, sir.
Was it 48?
Yes.
Okay, and I didn't. So what a way to show respect for what the court has given you as far as grace, and set an alarm at 4:30 in the morning and get to your testing. I can't believe that they're open only 5 to 9.
Yeah, and I apologize. It was my understanding that he was working both Saturday and Sunday. I didn't realize he was off Sundays, but they are only open in the mornings, and that's most of the facilities for weekend hours.
So we'll amend the testing Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And then, who knows, Mr. Edwards, to me, it would be nice if we could get to the point where I've got consistent, regular testing results where I can start moving you off that, but we're not there yet.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Ringot, that's where I'm at. I'll adjust the testing to Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. You can follow through on that. And then, in fact, here's what I'll say to you, Mr. Edwards. If you give me a good line of testing, I wrote last time that if you're in compliance, I will give you a community service sanction. All right, which I think probably would be, he has to do, 100 hours of community service? All right, adding to that would be very difficult. All right, if you can give me good testing, I would even abandon the community service section.
May I make a suggestion regarding Sunday? When this first started, I was able to go directly to the police station. I was just wondering, maybe Sunday, instead of me having to go everywhere, I can go to the local police department. Then I go to my time.
Only issue that.
PBT.
Yes, sir.
No.
Understood.
No. So Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yes, sir.
All right, and we'll see you back here in 60 days.
Judge, the only thing I did, and you might scoff at me for doing this, but I told Jeremy that I would at least plant the seed. He's been on probation now for 13 months. I know it's a 2-year probation, but I did want to kind of plant the seed because I looked at what he has accomplished listed in the report, and I think added, which I didn't know that this therapy was actually complete, but continues. I think that's incredibly important. So I ask you to consider perhaps in the next several months to take
As testing?
no, it's closing probation.
He's a drunk driving second. And I mean, as happy as I am right now, we've never had a review. He's always been in person. So we've never even had a review. So I appreciate, and Mr. Agat, I appreciate you putting it out there. But no, Mr. Edwards and I probably will be together for a while. All right. All right. Thank you. Aiken? It's Miss Eppley's file, and we'll call it after Mr. Aiken's done.
Okay, Rob.
All right, 24-00293.
Good morning, Honor. Emily James, State on behalf of probation.
Stephen Lynch, on behalf of the defendant, please state your name for the record.
Andrew Dennis,
All right, today's the time set for violation. Mr. Aiken absconded from this court sobriety court program back in January of 2025. How was he? Did he walk in or was he apprehended?
He was apprehended. He had been picked up. He was on probation in Livonia. Had a warrant out of Livonia as well.
Okay. All right, is he contesting the allegation?
No.
We very great that. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
that's right.
All right, please raise your hand. All right, Mr. Aiken, you have the right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond the reason. If you violate probation, then would have to proceed to sentencing. By pleading guilty, there's no hearing, we go directly to sentencing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Anybody promise you were threatening you anyway? It's your own choice to do this?
Correct.
All right, is it true that you absconded from probation from January 14th, 2025 to August 13th, 2026?
Yes, sir.
Satisfied?
Yes.
I am satisfied that please knowing voluntary and accurate, I'll accept the same recommendation.
Sir, 365 days jail with 41 days credit, discharge from sobriety court, probation without improvement, place the remaining balance on the show class document.
So much.
Judge, I had the opportunity to discuss this recommendation with my client. On his release to the county jail after being away. And I would want the court to know he was walking, counter officers asked his name, that's how he came into custody. I forget it, that there might have been something else in the morning, I think you said, but it wasn't his offense. On his release, he called probation right away that Friday. He activated the scram as soon as he could. There were no issues while on the scram. He reported to EverHealth and took a test on the 14th, the day he was released, positive for marijuana and alcohol. He let probation know that he used those, so he knew he'd be positive those times. So obviously here today, he does have a job still at Ford's Garage in Livonia. I'm sorry. And talking to him, what happened? He just said that he got basically overwhelmed between having the Uber everywhere, the finances of everything, basically he was in trouble. Is that the proper response? Of course not. But at least he didn't all give me some ridiculous explanation. I asked him about the adultery report. I know the recommendation was not for that. I asked him if he wanted to give it another shot. He told me he did, so I had to go get him when Mr. Beat with him. Obviously, her recommendation has not changed, but he would like the opportunity to be absconding for as long, you get to extend his probation and see how he does in the program. So I asked the court to consider allowing him to bring their option.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aiken. Is there anything you'd like to say before this court closes sentence?
Just, I know there's no excuses that can be made, and I just want to keep it for myself. I know that I have an issue with alcohol, and I was going to take care of that, and I don't believe that being incarcerated is going to help me further myself in the future of my life.
Well, I think the story of your time with me in the sobriety court was, we really, really struggled to get into compliance. But as you were struggling to get into compliance, I never put him in jail. Never locked him up, even when he was struggling. It's frustrating that we would ever come to the conclusion that being overwhelmed financially, that the court was just setting you up when I have plenty of examples of times when we're not in compliance. I just kept giving you the grace to keep getting, and we did make progress. We moved to phase 2. This could have been done, and then you just abandoned us. And it is a circumstance where, yes, I understand that there might be limitations as to the type of progress that one can make while sitting in jail. But when someone's sitting in jail, at least I know that they're not putting the community at risk by continuing alcohol and substance use. Because when he's picked up, what was he picked up doing? Drinking. He had alcohol in the system on August 13th. And so, I don't know that I can honor, Mr. Aiken's disappearance from this court by giving him the grace of an additional time chance in the sobriety court program. It's demonstrated that that's not a place for it right now. And what's my alternative? Everybody who goes into the sobriety court knows that once you have 2 opportunities here. You either graduate from the program, or if you're unwilling to comply with it, then you need to be separated from the community because you're not ready to be trusted out there. So it's a sentence in this court that just serve 365 days in jail with 41 days credit for your discharge without improvement balance to the show cause. I will, however, leave an out for you, Mr. Aiken. Write to me after January 15th, and I will consider a jail alternative. In the meantime, while you're in jail, I want you to be looking into different programs, classes, because that's what I'm going to be looking at. So you might not have to serve the full year. You've earned the full year, but I'll look for a letter from you and I'll bring you back down here. And if you tell me you've been going to classes, things like that, I'll consider a jail alternative at that point. All right, good luck. Balance in the show cause back. Charles Brand. 2600-207.
Yes, good morning, Alexandria, on behalf of the Rachel Department.
And Scott, on behalf of Mr. Brad, who's standing here.
Mr. Brand, state your name. Charles Brand. All right, today's date time set for review. Ms. Eppley?
Yes, Judge, first review following sentencing. Charles did really well. He is a full client. I know, obviously, time of sentencing, that was a tough beginning, obviously, with some issues we had on bond. But since then, he has really been locked in, actually did really well. Meeting twice a month in person for appointments. I did take him a little bit to get engaged with outpatient counseling, but we were able to get that situated. He did jump through some hoops to finally be meeting with his current provider, which seems to be working out really well, to be honest. He's attending an individual every other Tuesday. I do documentation through August 14th. I know he's still ordered to obtain a mental health evaluation. I spoke with his counselor, and his counselor, I don't know yet. I haven't spoken with Charles about that, and he's able to assist in that schedule. So that's in the works. He's also attending 1 in-person meeting per week. I do updated documentation through August 12th. He's attending an in-person meeting every Wednesday, actually local in Royal Wednesday evenings. All tests that results are on time and negative. He's testing twice with ETG and once a week drug. There's no issues with testing. He missed the test, he's going the next day, and he's letting them know. A lot of it is issues with work. And then sometimes too, the weekend schedule, the weekend hours, only one location is open, it doesn't look local. So, I mean, he's making full communication regarding the testing and going the next day if he can't make it. So he's compliant with testing. He's ordered 50 hours for service. At our last meeting in mid-August, he had approximately 14 done with the Goodwill and Flint. I'm unsure if he made a payment yet for today's date. I know we spoke about that. But aside, there's been no known issues with the victim in this case. No known contact. I reached out to her early on and she stated there's no issues. So as of today's date, he is in compliance with all his terms.
Given the fact that the court was holding inpatient treatment program, if there were any further violations, and he had to serve a day in jail last time we were here. The response is significant and very encouraging. Counsel?
Yes, Judge, I would say the same. Mr. Brandon is doing quite well. He's learned a lot through therapy as well as the individual things he's had to do. As the probation officer hinted at, and I think this court with another matter, I think I heard correctly. The testing is troublesome because he lives in Genesee County. He has to test in Pontiac at Aberhell. It is taking away from his work. He has been doing so well, we would ask that there be a reduction, or at least give the probation officer the discretion to reduce his testing. It's beyond it being expensive, which is not an issue. That he's one of, that's not the problem. The problem is it's interfering with his work, it's taking away hours, in addition to services hours. He's worked at this job for 15 years, and it's a good job. He's a manager at a shop, in Waterford. So, he's had that job a long time. So we'd like to keep it, obviously. And so we would just ask for a little bit of reduction in some of the requirements here. And I think that we'll hopefully continue on with this. We'd like to be asking the court to consider reduction of term probation, perhaps.
We'll see where we're at. I'm certainly happy today. I have not forgotten what we were doing at the end of April. But it seems as if Mr. Brandon was using that period of time where he was in a pretty difficult place as motivation, because we're reaching out. I mean, you're in such a stronger position in this court. You have to be, really, I mean, I'm hoping that you're proud of what you've accomplished already and you want more for yourself. What are your thoughts today?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Honestly.
You should be. I mean, I would say that where we're at in April, there's a very good chance that you were going to be locked up and then put into an inpatient treatment program. So to see the fact that you've put so many things in place outside of that, that's encouraging. I'm glad for it. I'm really glad for it because, that way I can use that bed for somebody else who wouldn't be able to follow through out in the community the way that you have. This is good. So yeah, you already recommended to dial back some of this testing.
Correct.
I think council is fair to ask for it, so we'll walk that back. Happily, we'll get you the new testing schedule.
Yes.
But there's no other way to describe it other than this is good. Now, I get greedy and so should you. We want more, okay? We want to continue to heal, continue to keep yourself in a good place, all right? We want to make sure that the story that comes out of this whole episode is you were able to realize what a negative place you were in, make substantial changes, and then all that's left is the decent person who doesn't want to bother or hurt anybody in his life, right?
Right.
So, all right, good start. I'll see you in 4 months. All right, any other questions?
Nothing for me. I'm sure we'll see the date in the LAS.
Yes. All right, good luck. Good job. All right, so you got it?
Ms. Bell?
Sheree Bell? All right, 25-00850.
Good morning, everyone. This is Vice President of Information.
John, I'm appearing on behalf of Sheree Bell to my right.
Ms. Bell, state your name.
Sure.
All right, today's date and time set for a violation. What are the allegations?
Yes, Judge, the defendant failed to report police contact as directed. She had police contacted Detroit Police Department on April 27th of this year, did obtain charges of no insurance misdemeanor driving license revoked out of the 36th District Court. And Judge, when I was preparing for court today, I saw that she had 2 outstanding warrants. The warrants were not entered into lien until June 5th, but I did not, I must have missed it on the driving license, but I only saw it when I saw the warrants, so that's when I looked it up. So this is, I know, that's why it's titled, but it's gone undealt with. And Ms. Bell does, when I spoke with her about it, she was unaware that she had any outstanding warrants.
She had contact with police and didn't tell you.
Correct.
Ms. Reinhardt?
She believed they were still in infractions, Judge, so I clarified that today. You may not know, I hope you do, she's in there spragging. So they haven't brought it up either, but I told her, should make it an easier process for her to deal with it because she's down there typically every other week.
But I mean, So, I mean, you're in their sobriety court, right? Have you got a restricted license yet? Well, because she had a applied consent suspension as well on top of it, all right? So they're gonna have to deal with the fact that out of that 27th interaction with police, she also got a prohibited term ticket, and she's been defaulted on that. And so that hit her record, and so that applied consent now goes until June of next year. So, I mean, I'm still hopeful for Ms. Bell that she'll be able to get herself in a position where they get her a restricted license, but the more she drives, the more that court is not likely to let that happen. And if you have any interaction with police, even if you were the victim of a crime, even if you're just a witness to a crime, you've got to let your probation officer know that. Because at the very least, I'm sure Ms. Esdale, probably maybe even would have reached out to Mr. Angat to make sure that you handle this in the best way possible. So what's your request for today?
Judge, I'm just asking to adjourn so Ms. Bell can take care of those outstanding warrants as soon as possible.
Even now, she's not looking to jam you up. She's giving you a chance to get this settled, which I think is very big of you to, given the fact that she didn't tell you that she had contact with police. So, Ms. Bell, follow her lead, make sure that you take care of these outstanding warrants, make sure Detroit knows about this too, you don't want them to be surprised, and also let your sobriety court probation officer know there. Now, Commissioner, yeah, you're right, they should know, but there's no guarantee that we've had plenty of examples of many different courts where the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, so make sure your probation officer knows, okay? And then I'll adjourn this out 90 days?
Sure.
Would you recommend?
I said 45, I didn't know.
Let's go 60 days.
Okay.
All right, so we'll adjourn this 60 days. Give Ms. Bell a chance to clear these things up. And hopefully we can move forward in a productive way, okay?
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further. Thank
Good
you.
luck. Thanks so much. Q. And review 25-01-420.
I'd like to see on behalf of probation.
Stephen Lynch, on behalf of the finance station director.
Right, so the time set for violation, what are the allegations?
The chief failed to appear for probation appointments on July 13th to July 27th. And she failed to submit to random testing as ordered on June 27th, July 10th, July 16th, July 27th, and August 8th.
I mean, what's going on here? So, Ms. Houghton, we've had two really good reviews together. We're on track to get this probation done, and then all of a sudden we just lost you, Mr. Lynch.
Judge, I think she made up all the
I
tests.
didn't make that one test.
As far as the two missed messages, she'll enter, please, she showed me the email, and she's like, oh, there it is in the body, you know, she got one in June, and she just completed the mistake.
Here's where I'm at. I don't necessarily want to go forward on a violation if we can, so the 27th, were they all made up the next day?
I wouldn't, if it was made up the next day, I wouldn't issue the violation, but I would have to look it up as I'm honest. If
She
she,
made up a few of them the next day. You would have to apply call testing, so I don't get any receipts, I can't all cash. But I've made them. The reason I missed them is because the job I was at was not really letting me leave, and it wasn't really doing well with my schedule. And now this job that I had, I left, and I'm with a new job, and they're a lot more complacent, and they said, if you have testing to say you can leave whenever you just need to let us know specifically.
So here's the thing. That's frustrating is that if you had made your appointments in July, you could have talked about all this with Ms. Tessino. And so that's why making the appointments are so crucial, because if anything comes up, one, you should be calling her anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and frankly, there'd been a good level of communication before. And
well, she was with Bailey.
with Bailey,
Yeah.
right? So there was good line of communication, so there's been, okay.
I talked about the fact that she's even gonna miss a test, just call ahead of time, let them know. It's always worse if it comes back around and figure something out, stay ahead of it, and then go to the next step.
I mean, I feel like this is still fixable, clearly.
And based on that recommendation, I feel the same way. I don't think it's been uncommon with kind of, taking over some of Bailey's, or cases while she's gone. But, yeah, no communication at all, that's not good.
She's done well otherwise, she's community service, in fact, now she's locked in. So, yeah, I'm not going to just assume that this is what we're gonna get from Miss Houghton. I feel like we'll right the ship, clean this up, and she'll still be a candidate even for her own discharge, so. Let's take a look here. So I was originally gonna put her for a final review in November. So I would just had a tough stretch there, so I will still do the same thing that I said on July 1st, as long as we can clean this up. So I'll adjourn this for a final review. December 16th. So it'll be a violation final review on December 16th. If she's locked in, she's on track with the testing, making all of her appointments, we've done everything that we're supposed to, then I will still consider her for an early discharge. That's still on the table. So what I would do is I dismiss the violation and still discharge her early. Okay? It just won't be at the end of October, beginning of November. It's going to be pushed out to mid-December, but I still think you can do this. I still want to close out 2026, done with probation, 2027 moving forward. Can we do this?
Yes.
All right, we'll rally. All right, I'll see you back here December 16th. Good luck.
You're welcome.
All right.
Leo?
Anthony Paleo, 2501726.
Yes, good morning, Alexander, at the Operation Department.
Stephen Lynch, on behalf of the defendant, please state your name for the record.
I saw him in May and we were doing just fine, and now we have a violation. What's going on?
The defendants failed to report to the Operation Department as directed. We failed to give reports on July 6th and July 2026, and failed to make payments for time payments.
Judge, it's somewhat similar to last, Dr. McConnell, when we met with probation, we went on August 17th. Say that, just honestly forgot, but if you look at everything that we've done, I mean, I know he hasn't started food service, we did victim impact, the ESA. He's, all tests are on time and negative, which I think is huge with the underlying charge, there's no issues there. He is in counseling, he did tell me that his appointment for August 24th, and before he got an email from the counselor wanting to move it. I've been searching before that to the probation department so they can see it. So I guess I would supposed to consider some of the last ones maybe adjourned because he has done that. I think the most important is that, he's testing, even in July when he missed.
He's still testing?
Yeah, and that's what, and I told him that too, I said, frankly, I don't want to say save him, but he was been locked in, there's not been one missed test. The movie test, no issues. Even though there's been issues with communication.
Right, you gotta stay locked in with your probation officer because again, then if there's anything that happens, at least you have a chance to have a conversation, you have a chance to know what's going on. I am grateful that other things are in line.
Yes.
That is what I'm encouraged about. So I at least want to give Mr. Paleo the opportunity to demonstrate that this was an anomaly and that he's going to be locked in going forward. So I'm okay with that. I'll adjourn for 90 days he's in compliance, I'll consider a dismissal of the violation. It may, just like in the prior case, it may affect, because I had looked at Mr. Paleo, even though he was a 2-year probation, and certainly this was a very serious charge. I said at the time of sentencing that it might be a 14, 15-month candidate.
Yes.
Now, this may affect us, but hopefully we'll be able to limit that instead of 14, 15 months, 15, 16 months, because of the 1 month that we're missing here. But I still haven't abandoned the idea of Mr. Paleo being an early discharge candidate, so, all right?
Thank you.
So let's lock this in. I'll see you back here in 90 days.
Okay.
Have one judge that might be on Zoom.
Go ahead.
Simpson, David Simpson.
Damon Simpson, do I have Damon Simpson here? Trying to see, I've got individuals unidentified. Do I have Damon Simpson here? Damon Simpson. Do not have Damon Simpson here.
I did talk to him this morning, he indicated he did not have a ride, so I'm instructing him to adjourn it, I'm instructing him to really try to get on Zoom. So
Just he knows this, if it's a failure to appear at appointments, is it worth trying to go with a shorter journey to see if we can get him here?
Well, that's kind of where I was at. He's never even technically been instructed on his probation terms. He thought that his probation was not reporting based on the conversation that I had with him. So I recommended 30 days for compliance.
So we'll just make it 2 weeks because he didn't show up.
And I'll call him and text him at the court if he needs it.
I can go 3 weeks then. I'm gonna fail to appear, but I will adjourn this 3 weeks. And let's see if we can get Mr. Simpson in compliance in the meantime.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to get him in for an instructional.
I'm sorry, what's 3 weeks?
16.
Thank you.
16.
I will call him. Otis Joyner.
I'd like to see all the application.
Stephen Rensham, you have to be with us.
All right, this is Mr. Joyner, 26000253. Mr. Joyner, is Mr. Joyner here on Zoom with us? Mr. Joyner.
Glasses on your eyes, not up there. You ain't got
Oh,
pen?
I see Miss Adams is here, but I do not have Otis Joyner.
So Judge, I did leave a phone again this morning, leave a message. I can't explain his non-insurance, but it looks like this. We're doing okay with probation, so I just maybe give a bench warning just to join this, and I'll try reaching out to him next.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think it's kind of a unique circumstance. He was living in a homeless shelter. He did obtain new charges at the shelter, from my understanding. So he was removed from the shelter for 30 days. He was contacting me on like friends and coworkers' phones. And he kind of has fallen off since I talked to him on the 6th. But I do think there was a point he was doing the best he could with what he had.
So maybe bump this 3 weeks as well.
Yeah. I'll keep trying.
I was keeping that thing light for a reason. It says keep it light. Can't. These are two pretty straightforward ones, so I'll just bump both of these 3 weeks. So defendant failed to appear, but it has housing instability, and so we at least want to try one more time and see if we can get him here. So I'll adjourn this through this. Thanks much.
Non-Joe?
That was retained.
Oh. We'll try to fight it.
No, we've already handled it. That's it for you, Mr. Anga?
Yes, sir. Eric Fisher.
He was a.
Did you do it? I told you me.
He was a dismiss and discharge.
Yes. Okay.
I've got his, McIntosh and Gilbert.
That's what it is.
Courtney McIntosh, 23-02023.
Right, Your Honor, that's it from the accusations.
John, I have, you have Courtney back in touch.
So interesting. I saw Courtney McIntosh on June 17th. We adjourned a violation 60 days if in compliance could be on Zoom. I've got a couple unidentified people. I see this here. I'm gonna go on, I'm checking everybody on Zoom. I've got see Mr. Netzel, I think. Owen McPherson is here, Sierra Adams is here, Eric Hernandez is here. We're gonna get into all of these. I've got two individuals. I've got Michelle Young.
Michelle Young is scheduled for tomorrow, and I did chat her. I don't believe she saw it.
Miss Young, your case is tomorrow. You're a day early. Oh.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Miss Young, why, you don't have to be sorry. You obviously showed up early. I mean, you just showed up a day early, but I'm not gonna be mad about that. Just check in with me tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, so I've got an iPhone and a Zoom user that I just need you to. Let's see here. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Who is this on the iPhone unidentified?
Chris Vandervoort.
All right, good. You're where you're supposed to be. And all of you that are here on Zoom, as soon as I finish the courtroom stuff, we'll get right to you and get you on your way. So Mr. Vandervoort, I'm gonna change yours. I got yours. Now I've got a
Mr. Allen.
Devenir Allen. Perfect. Okay. So here's the way this is gonna work. I got just two cases left in the courtroom. And then what I'm gonna do, so I can give everybody a heads up, is I'll call a case, and then I'll also call whatever case I'm gonna call next. So that way you can unmute and get yourself ready. So let me just finish the last two I've got here in court, and then we'll get to everybody that's online. So Mr. McIntosh has failed to appear. The violations were missed appointment meetings again.
Yes, Judge. It's interesting. So I actually received a call, a voicemail from Courtney on August 24th, so a couple days ago. I called her back yesterday, spoke with her, told her that she had to be here today in court, and I don't know why she's not. But I have not met with her since the last month.
Do you have any communication?
Judge, I emailed her, but the, unfortunately, the number was out of service today, so couldn't call her.
So this one is a little different because we have a massive amount of missed probation oversight meetings as opposed to the other two. So I can't really justify not issuing a bench warrant on this one. So I'll set a $5,000 cash surety or 10% bond, but I'll hold it for 48 hours. So if you're successful in getting in touch, then I can always do what I've done with the other two and just adjourn. Okay? And Gilbert? 25-01285.
Good morning, President. Probation Department.
John, I'm going to be the chairman.
Another very similar circumstance. We got missed tests, missed appointments. The whole idea was to try to adjourn to continue to help him get in compliance. He's not here.
It appeared that he was here this morning quickly on, or briefly on Zoom, but he logged off. I have had no contact with him, which was Ms. Ray's. Yeah, I'm not sure.
He did log in this morning though, and the recommendation was going to be to adjourn, right?
Yeah, I figured just try to figure out what's going on and get him back into compliance. I've talked to him a couple times, just not recently. since the last work.
Well, we had an issue where he said he pleaded counseling, but he hasn't.
No.
Well, I'll do the same thing that I did on the last one. I have a lengthy period of non-compliance, so I think a bench warrant is appropriate unless we hear from him. So I'll hold it for 48 hours. If he connects with us and the court can perhaps follow the recommendation that was put in place for today. All right. Rich, I think you're done. Mr. Meinecke, you're done?
Yes.
All right, thank you both, gentlemen.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, staff.
Mr. Grit? All right, 25-00544.
Good morning, Your Honor. I was with the approving the application.
All right, Mr. Ritz, state your name.
You're correct.
All right, today's date and time set for review. Ms. Esdale?
Yes, Judge, Eric's been locked in since last meeting, saw him meeting weekly as directed. He's continuing to be engaged in outpatient counseling once per week. Judge, I forgot that he had already turned in his relapse prevention, so that was supposed to say he did.
He has provided that.
Yes.
Okay.
He's been doing his daily journals. I have all those up to date through August 20th. Daily meetings he's been doing consistently through August 21st. All of his tests have been on time and negative. His last test he submitted was on August 25th. That's pending. He's still meeting with the sponsor. No violations on the tether. He indicated that he's completed all his community service, but he's continuing to go, trying to go above and beyond what he's ordered.
Yeah, we could take off some of the spines and costs then.
Yes, because I know he's not working right now, although that's a conversation that I've been having as far as getting back into work, because he's in the balance, we'll talk about that. We can't discharge with the balance, it's in the deferral. So the only other thing Judge, that he wanted me to just bring up, and I told Eric, I said there's no guarantees, especially because of what you had previously said. He's just struggling to pay his tether since he's not working. There's been no violation, but I just wanted to make you aware of that, but I obviously wasn't recommending he come off of it. I just wanted to let you know that's been a financial issue for him.
He has support here today?
What?
You have support here today?
Yeah.
How do you think he's doing?
I just told him the other day that he seems different, and it's a good thing. He's done everything we've asked. He was helping his dad pull out shrubs the other day, and I mean, it's really, he seems different, and I think that's a good thing.
Well, we had obviously a very concerning event that brought us here.
Yes.
And then, we were making some strides and then we got knocked down, but that is unfortunately, sometimes walks hand in hand with recovery. But the hope is that we then build upon the sobriety that we had before. And he does seem locked in, which is very encouraging. I guess I would feel a little bit more comfortable in looking at the tether if I knew, we had, employment and he had hours a day that were filled up. So I'm gonna keep it in place for now, but I will leave the door open. As long as he continues on his recovery path, as long as he continues to work with his sponsor and journals, even though I'm bumping out 90 days, it doesn't mean that he is tied to 90 days of tether. So if he, is able to secure employment and we've got a place where I know he is during the day, then I will be willing to take a look at that. And plus, to me, that's a further incentive to get out there and really push to look for that employment, right? I mean, already you want the employment for the financial freedom and just for some additional pride and feel good and increase your self-worth, okay? But if I can throw in there, and oh, by the way, you might pull that tether off if you get a job. I think any sort of push is a good push, right? But I mean, it's just nice to see you with a smile on your face, feeling good about the guy that you look at in the mirror. So this is all we want for you. We don't need you to move mountains. We don't need you to be Superman. We just need to be true to yourself, like who you're meant to be, not what your addiction is trying to convince you are. Because you're not that guy. Right, Mom?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a note to myself that if Mr. Hitt obtains employment, consider taking the tether off, because then obviously that's also helpful, so that he never has to worry about having an uncomfortable conversation with the employer related to why he has a tether. Okay? All right. But I leave it up to you for the last word. How are you feeling about yourself and how things are going?
Yeah, great. Never felt better, actually.
Very good. Very good. Okay, I'll see you in 90 days. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, so I need Sierra Adams, and then Owen McPherson is on deck, and we'll just keep going from there. So Sierra Adams, 2501-404. Hello, Miss Adams.
Hello.
All right, so Mr. Young, how's Miss Adams doing?
Ms. Adams is doing really well. She has actually, I believe, completed all, I don't have her file here, I forgot it, but I believe she's completed all terms of probation at this point, so, I mean, really, things are going about as well as they can get.
Miss Adams, way to step up. This is great. So what happens today is, then I'm able to dial back your probation terms considerably. So for example, we're set to be on probation until a year from today, which would be August of 27. But if you remember at the time of sentencing, I said I would consider you at the 1-year mark as long as you're locked in. Which is what I'm planning on doing, absolutely. So we'll come back in February. But Adams, the other really good point that I'll be able to do today for you is I can just shift you over to non-reporting probation, so you won't have to report anymore, all right? And really, the only main conditions that are left are stay away from Corwell, stay away from the individual in question, and don't engage in any new crimes. As long as you do those things, you're gonna be fine.
Okay.
So basically now it's like, you can live your life, stay out of trouble. We see each other in February, and I discharge you, and I discharge you early. Now, did I give her? She did additional community service, right?
Yeah, and I don't believe we waived any money yet for that.
Okay, so Miss Adams, she did an extra 800. Wow. So she did an extra 62 hours. So 62 hours. And her balance is only 690, right? And so she has made some payments.
She has made some payments. Yeah. I kind of told her to hold off, due to, potential for early discharge and then some extra community.
I think that's smart. So Miss Adams, don't make any more payments, because when I see you in February, I'm going to check your criminal history to make sure there's no new charges. And I know you have a 690 balance, but if you are done in February, I'll take the extra community service and the early discharge, and I'll waive that 690, so you won't have to pay any money.
Okay.
So, Ms. Adams, I hope you're feeling really good about the work you're doing. How are you feeling today?
I'm good.
Are you gaining confidence?
Yes.
All right, good. And you're working, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, so I'll set this for a final review. And that will be on February 24th.
Okay.
I will amend this to non-reporting probation, so you don't have to report anymore. And I will also make a note here, if she's in compliance on February 24th, I will discharge and waive her entire balance.
Okay.
Wow. Nice.
All right. So who's with you right now, by the way?
Mom. My mom.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
She's doing so good.
I know. I'm on her. I wasn't playing when I said I'm gonna be on it.
And you were right.
Really good. And actually, actually from the volunteer, she was at what is it, St. Paul?
Yeah.
Actually called and offered her a job. I think she called it last week?
The day before.
The day before, offered her a job. To come there. So they really liked her there. She did really well.
Well, I think Miss Adams is, she's got a good heart. she just has to make sure that she stays away from negative people, negative places, stay focused on herself and take care of herself, follow your guidance, and then she's gonna be just fine. And so all she has left, Mama, just so that we're all on the same page, she just has to stay away from the location and the person that she engaged with, okay? She has to just not commit any new crimes. And she won't have to pay a dime anymore to this court. On February 24th, we'll zoom in again, we'll discharge her from probation, we'll say hooray, zero balance, close this file out, okay?
Okay.
All right, Mom, it's really good to see you. Have a safe end of the year, both of you. And Ms. Adams, great job. See you in February.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now,
Good job, Air. Today.
all right. McPherson, and then Mr. Netzel is on deck. All right, so McPherson 24-01-563.
Good morning, President. I'm appearing on behalf of the probation department.
Morning, McPherson. How you doing, Judge?
Good. All right, what's my update?
Things are going well with Mr. McPherson. He's remained in good communication since the last court hearing. He continues to attend his daily support group meetings. He continues to attend his outpatient counseling. I saw an email come through on my phone while I was sitting up here. She did email me this morning around 10 o'clock, confirming that Owen has kept all his appointments, and her recommendation was just to continue the current treatment plan. The only outstanding term that he needs to do is the GED, obtain his GED. There was a setback financially with Mr. McPherson, so he had to, take care of that before being able to pay for the GED test. And then I believe, I don't know if he had sent it to me yet. He said he completed the victim impact panel a while ago. I just don't have the proof of it, so I just need to get the proof of that. I know he submitted a letter to you.
You know what I'm pretty fired up about today, Mr. McPherson, is I feel like it's the first time I had a chance to have him on Zoom. Because we've been managing these things for such a long time. I'm just glad that we're starting to build some real momentum. Good communication with Preston, doing your support group meetings, on top of your counseling. But more importantly, it just seems like not only are you attending these meetings and going to counseling, like you're actually allowing the lessons and the support to really take hold. Like for the first time, you're actually, taking what's been given to you and using it, like actually putting it into action, which I think is, this is why I've been pushing you so hard, Mr. McPherson, because I never thought you were a bad guy. I never thought that I was dealing with a villain. You just weren't moving. You weren't, pushing forward in life. And the byproduct is while you were standing still, that allows negative decision-making to come in and fester and take hold. And it's been a while. We had to root all that stuff out, but I feel like he's making real progress. So obviously it's a really good letter that you wrote to me today, and everything that I read is matched by what you're doing. How are you feeling, Mr. McPherson, about life in general and your direction?
I'm trying to show up. That's all. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm showing up for the things that I need to do that are important to me, and just take the next step, put this all behind me so that I'm able to actually progress in life. And I'm very thankful actually that I actually went through this. Unfortunately, what happened, but I really learned a big lesson in the past 2 years.
So what's the status on how long until we get for him to take the GED?
I talked to Owen, I believe either yesterday or Monday about that. I don't know if he gave me a specific time frame on when he thinks he can. It might have been soon, based on our
Very soon.
conversation.
If I may, sorry, just as soon as possible. Right now, we're going through an eviction process, so I'm trying to make sure that we don't lose this place at the moment, me and my mother, and as soon as I can cover that, I'm going to, hopefully within the next, like I say, 4 weeks. Hopefully, I just have to pay for it. That's all.
It's okay. Do you know how much it costs, by the way?
Not exactly. I know that it's a certain amount. There's 4 different courses that I have to take, or like perform or write tests for. So there's a certain amount per course, but at the same time, I don't think it's anything over like 300 or 200 even.
So, Mr. McPherson, here's my guarantee to you. Whatever dollar you spend on obtaining your GED, I will waive it from your fines and costs. So that way, I'll give you a credit against that, so that to me, it's less important that the court sees that money, and more important that the community is able to enjoy the benefit of you being more employable, having greater opportunities. Like, I think that serves the community better than, a couple extra $100 in the community's coffer. All right. So I just want to see you finish that last piece of the puzzle, close this probation out, and be in a stronger position than when we started, which I think we're getting there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Nice job, Mr. McPherson. Set it for a final review in December. Once he pays for that GED, takes it, let me know how much the costs are, and I'll waive that from his fines and costs. All right?
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Meinecke.
Nice work. Good to see you.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, Preston.
All right, Mr. Netzel, 2502081. Divine Allen is on deck. Allen's on deck.
I'd like to see on behalf of probation.
All right, Mr. Netzel, this is our first review. Okay, and just state your name for the record, by the way.
Richard Netzel.
All right, Ms. Tassino, how has his adjustment been to probation?
He's doing really, really well. He's attending outpatient counseling. I have approved through August 3rd. He's in full compliance with his testing. His last drug test at Nova was on July 16th. That was negative. He's been submitting to his PBT test and his SoberLink. He's had 1 late test on sentencing, so he's doing very well with that. He did complete 31 and a half of 30 hours of volunteer community service. He intends on doing some extra hours to work towards some fines and costs. He completed the victim impact panel. He's currently laid off. I know he's seeking other opportunities. And then I did note on there, you had a note on his sentencing paperwork to address the restitution today. I was able to determine that the victim is DTE, but the defendant wanted some additional documents, so Craig has been working on that. I would just ask we didn't address that for another 60 days.
That's fine. I think, one, I appreciate the efforts of probation and the prosecutor, and I think Mr. Netzel's questions are fair ones, and I think he's entitled to a full explanation before he is stuck with a particular amount. So, Mr. Netzel, I think it's appropriate to keep that open, because if I just simply went with what they gave me, I don't know that necessarily is fair until we have a full explanation of what the breakdown is, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. And I think if you remember from the original time that I met with you, I had one and only one invoice, and it seemed to be that invoice was for doing one pull versus, a one-off versus a volume discount. And, DTE or the city is not going to replace just one. They're going to do several. And so, I believe I just wanted to get more estimates and of something that's going to be, a volume discount, not just a one. So I appreciate taking this into consideration. As I explained to Emily here, I said, more than willing to understand, I need to pay something, but I don't know if this is fair and reasonable. That's what I'm just looking to try to do. So.
Well, you have, and that's just it. You have rights. It's not, a defendant in a case isn't, you can't just slap a dollar amount and say they got to accept it. It does have to be verifiable. And so I'm glad that you're working with Mr. Pavlock, and he'll get that information. And then ultimately, whatever, whatever Mr. Pavlock is able to put forth, then we'll decide whether or not that's a fair amount, and go from there.
Okay, understand. Fair enough. I know that you had granted the 120 days, hoping that they would have had all of this taken care of by now.
Well, they provided an amount, that's the problem.
They
You
did.
know, I have an amount and so the next steps, just so you know, Jeanette, so they've got that amount. If they held to that amount, it doesn't mean that the court automatically adopts that amount. If you're not satisfied, we could still have a hearing on it, and they'd have to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that it's an appropriate amount. So I think we can either schedule it for a hearing, or let the process continue to go out and see if we can resolve this short of a hearing.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
I appreciate you, Emily, and I appreciate you, Josh. Thank you.
but I will please check with Mr. Pavlik, because I'm not going to keep it open much longer.
And I mean, obviously, he just started working on this, I wasn't getting very far. I have a string of emails, he's been communicating with DTE, and kind of working his way up with who he needs to speak to. The last email I have was August 19th, it sounds like they were sending a crew to check this out, so I mean, they're being very thorough.
Yeah, I don't want him to have to pay for something that doesn't actually happen.
Correct.
You know, either. So we have to make sure that the work's actually done before Mr. Netzel incurs any obligation under restitution. So, okay, well, Mr. Netzel, today, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce your testing. Emily's going to get with you about this. You'll have options. You can go to, away from the SoberLink and go to 6 times a month urine screens, or you can keep with the SoberLink, but just move it down to twice a day, because I think he's 3 times a day.
Yes, and he's been very compliant, he's just unsure, his testing is visible, most people.
And that's fair. I know he is a ways away. So you can talk with Mr. Sino about what makes the most sense, Mr. Netzel, for you and your living situation. I just want to make sure he at least has options. So if you want to do urine screens, you can. If you want to stay on the SoberLink, I'm at least going to recognize the good hard work you've done by taking out that middle test. You really don't go below 2 times a day on the SoberLink, because then I don't find it to be all that helpful in monitoring, but a morning and a night test can be very helpful.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I'll see you back here in another 4 months, and good luck to you, Mr. Netzel. Good job. Probation will get you all the notice for the next date, okay?
Wonderful, thank you. Take care.
Have a good day, take care. All right, Alan, and then Vandervoort is on deck. 2501746, Alan.
Good morning, Arnold. Yes, I'll bring up information.
Are you there? Hello?
You said Mr. Allen?
Said Mr. Allen.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
All right, there we go. So Mr. Allen is coming to us from outer space.
I don't know how to change that.
Mr. Allen, it's all right. It's all right. I'm just glad you're here. All right, so last time I saw Mr. Allen, he had a violation. So I was really hoping that he would step up in the meantime, and we'd have a good review today. Ms. Esdale, how's he doing?
Yes, Judge. He's doing well. Just a couple of things. So he's enrolled in counseling. I do updated verification.
Good.
Data for August 20th. So regarding the testing and then also the meeting. So in between the time that you last saw him, we obviously had increased the testing because of the violation. Mr. Allen was involved in a work accident where he had injured his foot, and so he was not able to drive for a period of time. He did provide me a doctor's note, and then because he wasn't able to drive, he wasn't working, so he was getting paid. So the testing was kind of an issue. We've had a lengthy conversation about doing support meetings on days he can't test, which he's been doing, but I know he's ordered to do 1 meeting per week in person. Because of that kind of injury, he hasn't been doing them in person, but he's been at least doing them online. But I did inform him that we need to get back on track with doing those in person. But at the very least, he's been doing them online and doing verification. So that was just kind of the issue that we ran into since we last saw him. But I mean, he's doing the best that he can given the circumstances right now. So he is back to work. So like I said, we had that conversation last time I met with him, indicating that he's got to go in person.
Well, I hope he's continuing to heal. My goodness, what a difficult chapter that Mr. Allen has had to live through. That's tough. Are you feeling any better?
Unexpected as well. Yeah, a lot better. Unexpected as well. I'm just feeling better though.
Yeah, I mean, it comes out of nowhere. So, all right, well, Mr. Allen, I'm pleased with the fact that even with that health issue, you still are making progress. So we are clearly in a better place than we were at the beginning of July. So that's encouraging to me. I wish more than you know that you didn't have to deal with that health issue, but it is pretty impressive that despite that, you are making progress. Good job.
Thank you, because I was scared I was going to lose my foot. It got affected.
See, now that is scary. That's scary stuff. And so is the infection, has that been taken care of?
Yes, I guess the wound was closed, but and the inside was still bleeding. So I had a lot of dried up blood in my foot, and it had my foot like real swollen.
And anytime you look at a part of your body being swollen, it just freaks you out. It's very concerning. And when you're talking about infections, those things can take over. So I'm glad you're on the mend. Very glad for it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so how long do you adjourn it? 90 days?
Yes.
I'll adjourn this 90 days to give Mr. Allen a chance to continue to make progress, but again, feel better, and hopefully we can continue to make progress. All right, good luck.
Judge, I can't hear you.
All right, let's try it.
I think my phone went out.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so all I said, Mr. Allen, is that let's continue to make progress. You continue to heal, stay in good communication with Ms. Esdale, but we're on the right track now. I like what I'm seeing.
Okay. I appreciate that.
You got it. Good luck, sir.
All right. So is there anything else that I
You're all
need to
set
be-
for today. Ms. Esdale will follow up with you on anything else we need, okay?
Okay, got you. All right.
All right, Mr. Vandervoort, 2400149.
Yes, good morning, I'm Andrea from the Operation Equipment.
And Mr. Hernandez is on deck. All right. Mr. Vandervoort, can you hear me okay? Oh, he's on mute. Put him off mute for a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, today's date and time set for review.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Epley, how's he doing?
Chris is doing well, he is in full compliance, he's reporting as directed. I did finally receive updated documentation from counseling. I have update through August 18th confirming that he's continued to remain in full compliance with monthly attendance. He's also ordered to attend daily support group meetings. He dropped off yesterday's in-person meeting log, so I did his updated meeting attendance through the 24th of August. I have also, he provided yesterday's updated marijuana log through August 24th as well. So we're up to date with all documentations. He's testing at EverHealth 3 times a month, alcohol and drug. All tests are on to the negative. There's been no issues with testing.
Great.
His most recent test, 24th, is pending. Basically, I spoke with Chris about this at our last appointment as well. His discharge date's coming up October 8th. We still have the outstanding balance of community service and his outstanding balance as well with the court. So after the review date today, the court will have to issue a technical violation on the community service, probably the end of September, just because it's not done 1 month prior. And then obviously, he believes it'll be done early October.
Well, his final date is October 7th.
Correct.
Do we think we'll be done by October 7th?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, sorry, that's the plan, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna still set it for a final review on October 7th. If he's done, then we can close this out. If he has an outstanding balance, I can always give him a payment plan if need be after that. But Mr. Vandervoort, I'm happy with where we're at. I just really would encourage you. I would love to be able to discharge you on the 7th. So please do the work that needs to be done to get that community service piece done, okay?
Oh, absolutely, Your Honor. Most definitely.
Are you doing okay, by the way?
I'm doing great. I'm just walking to my grandmother's house. He's going into hospice, so I'm gonna pick up her stuff and try to walk down to the hospital. But besides that, I'm doing great.
Well, I am grateful then that you're in a good place, so that you can help your grandmother at this particular time, and that you can manage certainly some of the emotions that come with that, because, that's never an easy walk, to see someone that you care about going through that. But I'm just glad where you're at, Mr. Mr. Vandervoort, because if you weren't in a good place, this could be a trigger. And I'm glad that the work you've done has really helped get you to a strong place.
I appreciate that. And I'm coming up on my 2-year sobriety mark too. So I'm excited about that.
Isn't that amazing to say out loud? That's incredible.
Yeah, actually, I don't really talk about it too much. That would help. That's what helps me. But yeah, I'm really close.
All right. Okay, so I'll see you back here on the 7th, and I'm counting on it being a final review. Good job.
Thank you, Your Honor.
October 7th. October 7th. All right, Eric Hernandez. All right,
Good morning.
Case number 25-00942. Ms. Efley.
Good morning, Alexander Efley, New Operation Department.
All right, Mr. Hernandez is here. This is our second review. How's he doing?
Yes, Judge, here for a review. Eric's doing well. He's in compliance. There's still some things that need to be worked on. As of our last appointment, he was still waiting to schedule the impaired driving program. I know finances have been a little bit tight, so there comes the cost to schedule. So he's waiting to schedule that. He does have the impact panel scheduled for August 31st. He has not yet started 30 hours community service. He's testing at ATS 4 times a month ETG, once a month drug.
Nice.
All tests are ongoing negative. There's no issues with his testing protocol. He did previously travel for work throughout June and July with a Sterling device. I know that also came with a hefty cost because it was out of not even just out of the state, but out of the country. So there's additional costs that come with that. But he was compliant with his testing. I don't know if Mr. Hernandez is aware for his hearing today. We ran his driver record, and on my end, I saw his license status is not valid. So I wanted to move that up today's date for his license situation. But again, I guess he's compliant as of today. There's still some work that needs to be done.
Yeah, you got to make an appointment with the Secretary of State. I'm looking at his record. I'm not quite sure what he's got going on. Were you aware that your license wasn't valid?
Honestly, I just found out recently, and ever since I've kind of just been trying to save up, because to be honest with you, this is also another thing I kind of wanted to explain, that also the reason why I haven't been able to do my community service yet is because I've been super tight on money, and I've actually been trying to do side hustles, just trying to work with like families' cars, just trying to make money with whatever I can. Whenever I go to work, I usually get driven by my mom lately. Right now, I just came to the car just because, this is more private. And yeah, I've just been trying to just save up. This week, I want to get that. I also paid for my, I believe it's the impaired driving program, apart from the impact panel. I had to go deal with them today about that. And honestly, it's just been a money thing. I'm sorry.
Well, Mr. Hernandez, you've made good effort. The court is more than willing to be patient to allow you to continue to work through these things. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And sometimes when you're trying to balance, probation along with just roof over your head, food on the table, that kind of stuff, it does mean that there are times where we have to stretch it out a little bit. And that's okay. Not worried about that. So let's try to make a plan to get in there and get that license, because that will increase your opportunities. I mean, you're talking about side hustles. I mean, that would increase the opportunity to do things like DoorDash and stuff like that. So I think it's just a 125 reinstatement fee. That's my guess. That's usually when I see not valid, it's just usually a reinstatement fee with the Secretary of State. If you get to the Secretary of State and something else, let us know, because we're usually pretty good at figuring out what's holding somebody else up for their license. And then he just needs time to do the victim impact panel, time to do his community service. I don't have an issue giving you that time, okay? But just know this, Mr. Hernandez, I'm not looking to keep you on probation any longer than is necessary. So once these things are done, we certainly are going to be in a position to move you off of probation, okay? So just don't ever lose sight of the fact that the court is ready, willing, and able to move you forward when you're in a position financially to do so, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm going to work really hard to just try and make sure everything's happening. Like I said, I wish I could have paid it sooner. it's been tough and the semester's about to start and I even had to open a new credit card just to pay for my school.
Well, I respect that challenge that you're facing, and if it helps you to give you more time, I'm happy to do it, okay?
Thank you.
All right, 90 days?
Okay, yes.
All right, see you back here.